My dad was in the industry, so I from a very young age knew about the industry. I think any rightful sort of offspring never wants to do what their parents do. I went to art college and I was really interested in animation, and I was offered a job at the BBC. One of the women that was on the course with me, Carol Thompson, an amazing copywriter she turned out to be, sort of put our portfolios for a work placement, and we got a placement at BBH. And as soon as I did that, I realised it was a really amazing industry. I realised I didn't really understand what it was, and the whole notion. I think Rosie and Kiki Kendrick were there, and it was very, very early days of BBH, and I suddenly realised that there was a place where you could have ideas and sort of use creative thinking to solve problems, and it's totally sort of portrayed it in a different light. If I could have felt more confident about my abilities when I was younger, I think I would have enjoyed it that little bit more, even though I had a ball. I think that would be a really brilliant skill. But maybe it's dangerous, a combination of being young and self-confident, so maybe not. But that's maybe the one thing I would like to have felt, a bit more self-belief. Well, I think it's interesting, when I started, it was, I was surrounded by those women I mentioned. Carol was my copywriter, who was very inspiring, and Rosie, who was at BBH, but actually it was there that I had a chance to see firsthand Barbara Noakes. So I'd say Barbara Noakes was definitely, for me, an inspiration. But really, there is only one person, that's my mum. So I think your mum is always, I think she's an amazing role model. So many things are happening now that means that it's a slightly different industry. It feels much more open. I think role models being prepared to kind of make themselves visible, and I think that's something that I've often talked about with my peers, which is sometimes you feel uncomfortable doing that, but I think that is helpful, and I sort of realise that can be helpful. So I think people kind of getting a sense of what the business is. One of the things that happens is there are fall-offs with women. I think women, there's a fall-off. There's lots of people coming sort of in training, and then there's a fall-off as they come into agencies. It's trying to make sure that we provide an environment that feels welcoming and appealing. I think as women potentially have children, that's another time that we fall off. So what you sort of find is there are very few creative directors, and that period where sort of maybe their male colleagues are taking on more responsibilities, maybe they are not. Creating more of a 50-50 environment for me. It's not about more women, it's about a sort of environment that means that we encourage sort of parental care for both sexes, etc., etc. So I think that's possibly the key thing.
First big trend is artificial intelligence.